Hi everybody, welcome to Daily Deco. It is Wednesday, my dudes and dudettes. So yeah, let's jump straight into the news. So yeah, from the Simply Scuba side of things, yeah, sort of more and more stock is sort of flying in through our warehouses and getting booked in. So yeah, definitely sort of check out the website, see if anything new and interesting has popped up, especially with sort of Christmas coming up. You've got Christmas gifts for all your scuba diving friends, and yeah, if you sort of are looking for any kind of ideas for your loved ones to buy you a gift, then yeah, head over to Simply Scuba. Jumping straight into scuba diving news. So the first thing that caught my eye, this is kind of an old story, to be honest. I think this broke a couple of weeks ago, but it's always kind of been like in the background. There's always like more interesting stuff has sort of come up since, but I thought, hey, Wednesday is the day that we shall mention it. So this is that China has according to China, has sort of broken their own national deepest dive record in a submersible, diving down into the Mariana Trench. So they haven't broken the world record, they've just broken their own record by diving down deeper than previously before. They're just shy of sort of 11 kilometers, so apparently they dove down to 10,909 meters. The current world record is held by Victor Vescovo, who's 10,927 meters, so just a little bit deeper, not a great deal, but yeah, a bit deeper. And yeah, so they're all kind of celebrating. They've released like an image which has the sort of date and time redacted on the top, which is always a little bit suspicious for me. And obviously it's just them dropping the submersible into the water. But yeah, they're saying how it's amazing and how obviously they're sort of planning to kind of map the bottom of the ocean as much as possible, because we still don't know a lot about the sort of bottom of the ocean. But as ever, they have ulterior motives. I believe Japan discovered like a mineral-rich patch of seabeds, and yeah, they're obviously just kind of looking to mine as much as possible, and yeah, just dredge up as much sort of rare earth minerals as they can from the bottom of the ocean, so that they can make more stuff and yeah, sell it to us. So yeah, that's a two-part story for you. A little bit of good news, but yeah, also sort of China doing its usual thing, and yeah, just trying to sort of pillage the earth as much as possible. I should probably mention, it's only me today. Sean is off. I'd like to say he's off on holiday. He's going into our other studio, working with sort of the other companies, Anyday Media and whatnot, and sort of White Lines, working on some of the sort of snowboarding and outdoorsy kind of stuff. So he's left me alone in my basement to sort of film Daily Deco. So that's why it's just me, and you don't have sort of Sean's annoying voice sort of going off. The next news story, I'm going to get it in the neck as soon as Sean hears this. So the next news story comes from America, and this is off the coast of Florida. So next year, next February, fingers crossed, the Super Bowl is going to take place off of Miami, I believe, and Floridian, I don't know, veterans from Florida, and I presume sort of around the states, they have been sort of congregating to scuba dive and actually do some sort of coral gardening. So they're in the waters off the coast of Miami, and yeah, they're taking sort of bits of coral and they're replanting them in certain areas, and they're saying how amazing it is, because literally as soon as they kind of set it in position, then fish immediately start to sort of congregate around it. So it's doing a positive thing, and this pardon me. This is all from, I think they call it NFL Green, which is like their eco-friendly sort of side of the football league, and yeah, they're aiming to sort of bring this sort of big game that's going to be in sort of Tampa Bay to sort of promote sustainability and yeah, sort of mention a bit more, because it's usually people who are more interested in kind of the sciences and obviously scuba diving, who are worried about coral bleaching and whatnot. They the eco-friendly people who work at the NFL are really trying to sort of get the kind of the sports fans who would never really know about this kind of issue. Oh, pardon me. So they're really sort of going in sort of full hog, and they're going to put it into the Super Bowl, which has millions and millions and millions of viewers from all around the world, sort of mainly the United States, but obviously elsewhere. And yeah, hopefully to sort of raise awareness of sort of coral bleaching and all that kind of problem. So yeah, that's nice stories, and yeah, obviously they're getting sort of retired sort of military divers to come in to help them as well, give them something to do, and yeah, it's just a nice sort of all-round good story. Now, today's episode of Daily Deco is sponsored by our very own Teespring store. So if you didn't know, and you haven't watched any of the previous weeks Daily Decos, is that Simply Scuba, we have our very own Teespring store. What Teesprings do is they basically create merchandise, but only when someone buys it, so it's a bit more eco-friendly. So it's a way of, we basically upload our scuba diving designs, and then you pick what you want it on, what colored t-shirt or hoodie or whatever it is, and then as soon as you sort of place your order, it's made exactly for you, and then they ship it directly for you. So it's a way that we don't have to hold stock, and we don't have to over-order to sort of all sorts of different sizes. You pick exactly what you want, exactly what colour you want, and yeah, it arrives at your front door a little bit later. But right now we're offering 15% off your entire order if you use the promo code DailyDeco, so that's all one word, DailyDeco, and yeah, you'll get 15% off of your offer. So yeah, if you just want to sort of represent the Simply Scuba brand, then by all means, we got all sorts of stuff from t-shirts, hoodies, I think there's face masks and socks and water bottles and stuff. There's all sorts of stuff on the on the Teespring style. So yeah, check it out. And jumping straight back into the news, so this one ties back to a story that we did last week, which was about Scuba Pro. They released their taxes or whatever it is sort of last week or the week beforehand, and yeah, we basically saw a dramatic drop in sales of scuba diving equipment, and oh, pardon me. And yeah, there was a big sort of conversation about, well, do scuba diving centres, do we need to start diversifying, start selling other dive equipment, or is it better just to have sort of one particular speciality and just kind of grit your teeth and bear with it? And this news story comes from the Guam Daily Post, not one that I can honestly say I've read too much on, but this news story basically sort of follows a pair that run a diving centre, and yeah, they found obviously sort of sales dropped due to the COVID-19 and social distancing and all that kind of stuff. They had to sort of close the store because they couldn't let people in, and after everything started to open up again, they did start to see sort of an upwards trend in selling equipment, but not specifically scuba diving equipment, in stand-up paddleboarding and freediving equipment especially. So people are still keen to get out. They still want to do water sports, but yeah, because they sort of invested in sort of paddleboards and all that kind of stuff, they ended up sort of selling sort of equipment, just not the equipment that they were used to selling from previous years. I mean, they say that it was a bump in their revenue accounts for about 20 to 30%, and freediving is probably 5 to 10 times sort of what it was beforehand. So yeah, people are really kind of taking on that sort of freediving side of things, which is interesting. So yeah, maybe it is sort of the future of dive centres, where we're not going to be specifically scuba diving centres, we're just going to be sort of water sports centres, and yeah, we have scuba divers, but we also have stand-up paddleboarders. But of course, as we know, that there are quite often sort of free divers who work at dive centres as well. Yeah, it's nice to see that people are still sort of getting wet, especially during any kind of sort of pandemic lockdown. People are still keen to sort of go out and do our sort of water sports. It's just now they're sort of a bit keener on sort of free diving, which is interesting. We've always seen a kind of an upwards trend of free diving. More and more people are getting into it. It's a bit more accessible because there aren't necessarily courses for freediving. You can kind of just get in and do it. It's only when you start to sort of take it a bit more seriously and go for sort of greater depths that you can get courses and kind of training to make sure that you're doing it safely. But yeah, a lot of people are just sort of buying mask, fins and snorkel and just sort of going out there and exploring the underwater world, and that's kind of how they get into scuba diving as well. So yeah, we're always happy with this, and that's quite a nice segue into our last news story, which is about a Turkish freediver who is planning to break 3 separate world records in Mexico. So this is Turkish freediver Fatma Uruk, and she flew over to Mexico, and then the pandemic hit, so she was kind of trapped in Mexico. She couldn't go anywhere. She did a bit of sort of exploring, kind of what she could, and she actually decided that she's planning to break 3 separate sort of freediving records by diving in the cenotes, or sort of one cenote in particular. And it's just been sort of setback after setback. With was like an earthquake or something, and flooding and all sorts of things. So I think she was originally planning to do it in about April, but that got pushed back to May, and it's still getting pushed back, but she's still keen. She's still sort of training and still sort of working on doing it. So I think it was 3 separate disciplines she's planning to sort of break records in, and that was constant weights bifin, constant weights monofin, and then variable weight no fins, I believe. So they're the sort of 3 different freediving disciplines that she's sort of planned to break world records in by diving in these cenotes. And there'll be sort of links down below, but yeah, wonderful kind of story about sort of what she was doing and sort of exploring Mexico during this kind of global pandemic, trying to keep safe and everything, but yeah, all in the sort of mind of I really need to sort of train for this and find a suitable place and break some records by diving into the Yum Kim cenote. So yeah, nice and interesting. Good luck to her. Obviously, she's quite well known in the sort of freediving world, so yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine. And that's it as far as news stories that caught my eye. If you have any news stories, then of course let us know down in the comments below. And on Friday we'll do our Q&A, so if you have any questions, then yeah, let us know down in the comments below, and we'll add those to the list. If there's anything that you want me to kind of elaborate on or kind of explain, then yeah, this is what I'm here for. So stay tuned for Friday. Pop all your sort of questions, comments, queries, corrections, anything down in the comments below. And yeah, don't forget to head over to our Teespring store to use the daily Deco discounts to get some money off some scuba diving merchandise. Thank you for watching, everybody. Sorry for all the coughing. It's just lingering man flu. It just never seems to be going away for whatever reason. But I'm fine. I've had 2 negative tests, so it's not the dreaded COVID. But yeah, stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you for watching, and safe diving.